Hi, I want to thank everybody for attending today's press conference to announce our 2017 AV self-driving tour. We've set up a website so that you can gain additional information at avroadtrip.org, and we're really looking forward to providing updates on that site as we progress. We want to thank our sponsors, EasyMile, TransDev, HDR, and Splunk, who are sponsoring the tour and making this possible. I will tell you that the tour itself is really designed to build public trust of self-driving technologies. There's a AAA study out there that many people have seen that suggests that 4 out of 5 people don't want anything to do with self-driving vehicles. So it provides us with a challenge at hand. When you combine that with the technologies that we've seen this year in the Consumer Electronics Show, it's very, very evident that the technology is advancing at a rate that far exceeds 2 things. One is the regulators' ability to really kind of understand the technology that they're looking at. And number 2, that the need to move the needle on public trust is so critical to the future of these technologies. You've got the traditional car manufacturers and innovators in this space investing collectively billions and billions of dollars on advancing self-driving technologies and the underlying enabling technologies such as sensor technologies like LiDAR, radar, networking capabilities, communications capabilities, and it will do us absolutely no good. Those investments will not pay dividends unless we can accelerate the path to self-driving. And that's what this tour is all about. Let me say a couple of things about our organization. The Alliance for Transportation Innovation is a not-for-profit organization that is focused on one mission. It's one simple mission, and that is deploying technologies that will dramatically improve the safe and efficient movement of people and goods. And self-driving is one of those transformational technologies that we're delighted to have. So in a moment, you'll hear from former Secretary of Transportation Mary Peters. You'll hear from the ATI21 Chairman Bob Walker. You will hear from Dick Alexander, who is with TransDev, as well as Gilbert Gagné, who is the CEO of EasyMile. So with that, I'll turn it over to Mary Peters. Secretary Peters.
Paul, thanks so much. It's been a real privilege to be here at the Consumer Electronics show today and to see some of the technology that is out there and coming across the mainstream of the United States. Particularly, I was grateful to have the opportunity to sit in on the Self-Driving Leadership Summit and hear what's going on in this area where technology can make driving safer, can make our transportation much more efficient, but importantly as well to equalize transportation and mobility opportunities for those who are underserved by those fields today. But I have to say, it doesn't do us any good to have this discussion and to be here at the show and see all of these exciting things happen if we don't get them out of the showroom floor here and out into the public. And as Paul mentioned, that's where regulation comes in. And we need to be really sure that we're not letting regulation interfere with the progress that can be made to get this technology out to the public, saving lives, making our lives better. So I'm very privileged to have the opportunity this morning, Paul. Thank you so much.
I'm former Congressman Bob Walker, and I'm the chair of the ATI. And I must say that a lot of the excitement around the Consumer Electronics Show this year is involved with automobiles and particularly autonomous vehicles. Autonomous vehicles are the wave of the future. It's something new. The public does have some concerns about it. But the fact is, when we switched from horse and buggy to automobiles, there were a lot of concerns at that point too. In fact, one state enacted a law that said that as a car came down the road, someone had to walk in front of it waving a lantern back and forth saying, "Car coming, car coming." And so there was a lot of concern in those days. So we recognize that concern, and the road tour is to help people understand autonomous vehicles better so that they don't have these concerns about them, so that they do have the ability to see them in action and to understand that this is a technology that is coming quickly, and will be a part of their lives in the future.
Hi, my name's Dick Alexander. I'm Executive Vice President of Transdev. A lot of you probably don't know who Transdev is. We're an operator, so we're the provider of transportation. So put shortly, we're in the business of moving people. We operate bus rapid transit, paratransit, commuter rail, every form of transportation that involves moving people. We're really excited to be part of this tour and really bring the power of AVs to the public to see what it can do. Part of our business is really trying to match the right mode of service to the right need. You know, it may be a fixed route or rail for commuters, it may be on-demand services for those persons with disabilities, last mile solutions to open up areas that have not been served to public transit, or dynamic shuttles kind of responding to the unique needs of the individual. We see this AV tour as really important because we see a great change that's going to happen coming in the mass transportation business. For example, first and foremost is safety. Safety is our most #1 priority. It's our fiduciary responsibility to ensure that every customer that rides in public transit do so safely. Second is the changing costs that an AV affords us. What AVs do for us is reduces operating costs pretty significantly, 50–60%, and that opens up a whole range of opportunities in terms of being able to provide more mobility to more areas and to serve more people. And third, of course, is the environment, being able to operate vehicles that are non-polluting vehicles. So we're really excited to be part of this roadshow. We hope to go across the U.S. demonstrating the vehicle and demonstrating how services might operate under an AV environment. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon everyone. I'm Gilbert Gagnon. I'm the CEO and founder of EasyMile. I'm really excited to be here in Las Vegas to announce our participation to do this US roadshow. It's for us a unique opportunity to bring our vehicle here in America after Japan, Singapore, Dubai, all the Scandinavian countries, Germany, France, and well, I don't know which country, I forget. We have a unique chance to test the user acceptance of our vehicles here in America. Thank you.
With that, I wanted to know if anybody had any questions. Yes?
Yeah, Gilbert, how would you characterize the acceptance of autonomous vehicles such as what your company is involved with? How would you characterize it in the United States compared to all those other countries that you mentioned? Are we lagging? Are we ahead? Are we keeping pace? Or?
It's we don't know what we don't know. It's only when we have started that we will figure out what's really different. What I can see is that the car culture in America is way deeper than in many other countries. If you look at a city like Tokyo, I think 70% of the mobility is done using public transportation. I don't know a single American city where it's the same. So what we do is not developing private cars. We don't want to replace conventional private cars by autonomous private cars. We want to get rid of the cars and put people in public transportation. That's why we work mainly with transportation operators. So the question for us is whether or not both the infrastructure, I'm talking about the density of population in the US, and the existing network of public transport is suitable for the first and last mile vehicle that we develop.
And I was actually, this is a question also for Mr. Alexander. Is your technologies in place, operational right now in the U.S.?
We're in the process. This year we'll have at least 2, maybe 3 operations going. It's early on in the process.
Yeah.
We have a lot of interest. A lot of that interest is coming from universities. It's coming from private developers that have private road networks. And so there's a lot of interest in internal circulations, whether they be gated communities or corporate campuses. I think that's where we're going to see it first, because the regulatory hurdles are much lower in those environments. But there seems to be a lot of acceptance and a lot of interest, especially from public transit organizations. They've really struggled trying to figure out the last mile solution in a mass transit environment.
Gilbert, what I'm wondering is, what is driving Easy Mile to want to be a part of the tour here in the U.S.?
Well, we have plans to come into the American market in 2017. We are now in the process of setting up our office in Denver. We soon will be looking for a local manufacturer to build our vehicle assembled in America. And we thought that was a unique opportunity to establish the brand in the US market and also create some awareness in the public.
Any other questions? All right, well, thanks everybody. We really appreciate it. We look forward to working with you in the future as we proceed with the tour. Again, avroadtour.org. Visit it often, and follow along at home as we begin this tour in earnest on January 26th in Atlanta, Georgia, and it will, the first leg, the phase 1 of the tour, which we're doing in 2 phases, will end on February 9th in San Jose, California. Thank you, everybody, and we look forward to working with you and hearing more and answering more questions in the future. Thank you.